Hello there. Right, welcome to my latest toy video thing. Right, this is my latest toy here. It's a 3D printer, and I bought it so that I could make stuff for myself for my model railway. And in a couple of ticks I'll tell you what else I'm going to make with it. Predominantly model railway stuff. And this is a Creality Ender 3, I'm just reading it off the box, V3 SE, okay, and it is a phenomenal piece of kit, and I've already printed some stuff off. You can print off, here's one here, one I did earlier, you can print off absolute, stuff, rubbish stuff, like this little boat thing. That particular item is used apparently with the 3D community as a kind of a test to see if your machine's working properly. Because I tell you what, to set them up, well, set this thing up is very easy actually. It's the software. It's the software that got me. I couldn't get my head around what you actually had to do. I looked everywhere on YouTube and it was not as basic as I wanted it to be. You know, sometimes these things go into all sorts of heavy detail, don't they? Anyway, I eventually got it working. You have to you have to have a design, obviously, to begin with. And you can do that in one of two ways. You can either have a CAD program, which I got called Onshape. The reason I got that is because there's an ex-teacher on the YouTube who runs you through the whole procedure of designing something in this particular CAD program. The CAD program's open source, so it's free of charge. You can download it onto your computer. Then once you have the design, oh, that's one way of getting a design. Yeah, right, okay. The other way of achieving the same end game, as it were, is to download a design that somebody has already done. And the internet is full of lovely people who actually have already designed and downloaded their designs onto the onto a website for you to download onto your computer and print off. There are a number of different websites, obviously, loads of them. But I think the first and largest one, and the one that I've been going to a lot, is called Thingiverse. Yeah, you got one, don't you? The Thingiverse, and that is full of absolute crap. Some of it, stuff you wouldn't even, yeah, stuff you wouldn't even throw in the dustbin. Useless kind of stuff, cats and dogs and flexible alligators and all this kind of stuff. But also there are quite a few model railway enthusiasts who put their designs on there for you to download and print out. Okay, so once you've got this design, you then have to put it into something called a slicer, which is a program again, okay? And what it does is it determines for your particular machine the slices that it goes through, because the thing goes around and around. And it determines the number of slices and where the slices are going to be, and if it needs support, because you can't print horizontally obviously, because the stuff sort of falls down like that, so you need support underneath it, and it's a bit more, my brain hurts, it's a bit more complicated than you actually realise at the beginning. Anyway, what I'll do is you can have a look and see what this thing is actually printing off, working, and then I'll show you what I've actually made. Alright, back in a tick. That apparently is going to be a ballast spreader, which I've downloaded off the YouTube, off the internet, and it's busy printing it away. Says it's going to take about an hour to do. We'll have a look. We'll have a look at it when it's finished. See if it's any good. Anyway, it fascinates me. I could sit and watch it for hours. Anyway, yeah, all good stuff, eh? But here we are. Well, it took a while. I don't know, hour and a bit, I think, something like that. And this is what it made. This is a ballast spreader. No, I've always wanted one. I don't think they work all that well, but I wanted to try one out, okay? So it comes in, it prints off in 2 bits, so this is a kind of like a thing that covers the holes up when you push it in, so that when you withdraw it off the track, obviously it doesn't go. So it's not a bad design. We'll have to see if it works. So I'll give that a test, right? So, yeah. I mean, the problem is with these things is that unless you go to Amazon, which I really don't like doing, to buy it from any other source, you know, you have to pay the carriage and everything like that. These, I suppose, I don't know, what are they, 15 quid a piece, up to around, I don't know, I've seen them at £50 each. Anyway, 15 quid ones look like this. So I'd only have to print off 14 to actually get my money back. But I can't see that I'm going to use 14 of them. So anyway, I printed off some buffer stops. Now this buffer stop, it looks a bit weird because it's got these kind of pads on its feet and it needs kind of cleaning up. But it's a neat little piece of design work. The pads on the feet are there to aid adhesion of the first layer of plastic to the bed. Otherwise the thing just wobbles and falls over. And I did try and print off another design that somebody had done. Of course these designs are made for their own printers. Yeah, okay, and their own particular plastic that they use. The plastic I use is called PLA, which is fairly common stuff, and it's 100% recycled, and it comes in different colours if you should wish it to, to print off in different colours. But when you're printing, of course, it doesn't, this one anyway, doesn't automatically change the colours for you. Now, I've printed off also, and I'll tell you why I've done it, some track, okay? Right. Now this is plastic track, it's fairly it's fairly good. This is 100 long, 100 millimeters, and then there's an alternative you can print off at 200 millimeters. That's the longest I can get on the bed that I've got. And I'll tell you about this in a while. It's O gauge, all right? Now, I don't do O gauge, but now what is it? The YouTube, yeah. It has an algorithm on it. I don't know how the hell it works, but it obviously pops up onto your screen things which are common to what you want to be looking at. Yeah. So because I look at quite a few sort of model railways building and models and this, that, and the other, up popped a site, a YouTube site called it's Bob Downes, B-O-B, Bob Downes, D-O-W-N-E-S, and I was absolutely fascinated by what he'd done. Not with a 3D printer, although some of it may have been 3D printed. He bought kits from a particular outlet. He tells you all about it on his website, on his YouTube, and it is a model railway. I forget what gauge it is. It's not O gauge, I don't think, but anyway. It's a model railway based on the theme of Roland Emmett. Roland Emmett was a Brit. I suppose you could call him a little bit of an eccentric. Designer, engineer. I don't know what he made was. It was. Fantastical. If any of you have watched the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang film, the grandfather, Karaticus Potts, his name was, Karaticus Potts, his workshop was actually designed and for the film by Roland Emmett. And if you just Google him, then you'll see the kind of stuff that he designed and made. It was not all railway stuff. I did some sort of flying monsters. Most of it was articulated, working, although the stuff didn't actually fly by itself. It was obviously held up, but movements with butterflies and flowers and weird looking people on it, and teapots and toast, and you know what I mean, kind of weird. Anyway, took my fancy on it. So straight away went to the website where he actually bought his models from, and I was quite astounded by the selection that they had there. There were kits, they were selling kits, okay, so you had to make them up and paint them and all the rest of it. But I thought, I could do that, That, and the way I would actually achieve that was with this piece of kit here. Now, getting back to the railway that I showed you, obviously I could change the size of this if I wanted to on my printer, so it printed out in a different gauge. But the actual railway itself is what they call OS railway system, okay? So on the Thingiverse, the OS railway system, OS is open source, okay, so it's available to everybody, available to me, to you, to whoever. It's even available to my wife should she wish to make anything, but I don't think she will. So this open source, obviously American, because the although he uses O-gauge track 32 mil, isn't it? His trucks and his engines, all working of course, are there to download and print free of charge. So you could make up your own train set, your own railway, your own model railway. The downloads are obviously free of charge. What costs you is the printery thing, okay, which is probably no more than the cost of one highly expensive Hornby engine or 4 of their new coaches, something like that. It costs that, and it also costs for the plastic reel, the reel of plastic that you buy, you know, to actually produce this thing. But it goes a long way, this plastic, and I think it's 20 quid a reel or something. Let's have a look. Comes on a big reel like this, and it is a kilo. Oh, it doesn't tell you how long it is, but it's a kilo. A kilo of plastic. Okay, so that's a fair old weight, isn't it? Eh? Fair old bit of plastic. So, and you can buy those, I say, in different colours. So, my next job is to actually build a little bit of track. So I've got 2 of these, and they've got sort of clips on the end so that they fit in to each other, clip together like that. The guy's got points left and right. The guy's got crossovers. This is on the Thingiverse. He's got curves in 3 different radii. Half curves, half straights, long straights. You know, so you can make a good railway with it. You got everything you need there, plus the trucks, plus the coaches, plus the engines. And of course there are other people producing designs for this particular OS system, so you're not just limited to I think his name is Depronized. Anyway, he's the guy who came up with the original, I think, and obviously people are adding to it, and that's all available on the Thingiverse also. So I shall make up a little track. I shall then download a chassis of some kind, just a 4-wheel chassis, because I want a fairly small radius, curves on this thing. If you have a look at Bob Downs' model railway, it'll be similar to that, sort of like a dumbbell, yeah. At each end, turn around, and then, you know, model buildings, but different. It's not everybody's cup of tea. Sorry about that. I will carry on, obviously, with the other model railway. In actual fact, this should have been the video about it, shouldn't it? And I'm still getting on with it, but slower than I thought I would. So anyway, obviously this track, being plastic, doesn't actually conduct electricity all that well. So the engine itself has to have its own power source. So that'll be a battery. It'll have its own, obviously, electric motor. All the gears and everything are there for you to print off on your printer, should you wish to do so. You can build the thing up, yeah, a little motorised bogie, as it were. Yeah. On top of that will go the platform and the design of engine that I think I might want, and it might be along the lines of the Roland Emmett style, Weird and Wonderful. Right, well, I reckon I've waffled on enough about that, haven't I? I'll get going on this and see how it turns out. It ain't as easy as it looks. If you can imagine, if you didn't actually operate a computer, if you didn't know about computers, if you could put yourself back to the first time you actually sat in front of a computer and switched it on, and you saw the keys and the lights flashing and the it's a bit like that. It's a bit like that for me, anyway. I mean, it's a bit like what's this stuff called, Raspberry Pi? I don't have a clue. Arduino. Apparently you can power all these things by all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to put, mine will be remote control. So I have a controller that I used for my model aircraft, which is far more sophisticated than a railway engine needs, which is basically stop, start, backwards and forwards. That's fairly easy, that, isn't it? So anyway, I get my brain around it, and it's fun. It is at the moment, anyway. It's fun. Right, well, I don't know what happened there. We got some beeps, didn't we? Beep, 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 beep. It went. Didn't tell me anything, but I reckon that I filled the card up on the thingy. So anyway, I've waffled. So, yeah, come back and enjoy my journey with me as we delve into the realms of plastics. Oh, yeah, I've downloaded some milk churns, some crates, some bicycles, a bicycle rack, all in 00 gauge, or as the case may be sometimes HO gauge. There's a lot of Americans on the site, so I'll have to have a look and see what they look like. Anyway, look after yourselves until the next time, and thank you for making it to the end. If you did. Well, if you didn't, yeah, you get my drift. Alright, next time. Bye.